Okay. So I'm on my second cup of coffee. I'm outside. Actually, it's quite pleasant out here. And I needed to get out of the house anyway. I had already taken my morning walk. My first cup of coffee. I had an additional roommate last night, which actually was funny. When I recorded y'all earlier and I said, oh, he brings somebody in the house. Oh, but he took him into another room. Good. But I changed my mind about that. Because I came out and I met him. Young man. Brother. He was going to put him in the room with two people I had roomed with before previously. And they were already a trip. And I said, oh, you ain't doing that to this young man. And stuff. Because, he's interacting with girlfriend or stuff. And she getting ready to go home for a visit. She religious. I already see it on the spirit. He believes in God. So I was telling him. I said, dude, don't you let him railroad you in that room with them people. Because they got problems. Yeah, I got in the owner's business. Because I got into his business for one of mine. I said, how long are you here for? He said, I'm just working on getting my vehicle repaired. It might be 1 or 2 nights. I said, okay. I said, well, you get you a proper night's rest, but you ain't gonna get it in that room. Because both of those ducks are odd. So he said, okay. So he went out there, he found the owner. I said, his car's still here. So he went and found him and talked to that man. And that man moved him into our room. And I told him, I said, now my other roommate, he's odd too. But hey, that's just my opinion. Because he got up yesterday, or this morning, like he was supposed to. Because this was yesterday, I had the conversation with him, man, like he was supposed to. Because he said he gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, he woke up at 3 o'clock this morning, and he didn't get up. He been laying in that bed. Now, he didn't came out and got fully dressed and whatnot, but he laying in that bed, staring at his phone. Just like I'm doing with y'all, but see, at least I'm recording some shit. He ain't saying nothing. He looked at me like he wanted to say something to me, but at the same time, he never did. And I told this other man, I said, dude, I was going to introduce you because he came in, but he didn't introduce himself. So I just looked at him. And I said, I'll be honest with you, I forgot your name. And he told me his name again. I said, damn, I should remember that. I said, oh, because you was in the lion's den. And he just smiled. He said, dude, yeah, see, part of what my father did, like I said, when he was waking me up, because see, y'all always talking about how enlightened you are. You are the light. Do you know what the light is? And do you know what the darkness is in contrast to the light? And do you know that you have to deal with both those things in order to see something? And if you only deal with one aspect of anything that has to do with your soul and creation, then you just stupid. And at the same time, can't nobody tell you anything because you stupid? Because you done said, I done shut all that other stuff down because all that other stuff don't work for me? Oh, so now you working with what half a brain cell? And you still ain't got shit working for you. You huddled off into a corner somewhere, teaching somebody, I'm this enlightened spiritual being because I've done away with all this darkness. And at the same time, I'm like, what darkness have you done away with? Because darkness is a choice, as far as you put it. See, the blackness of my skin is who I am, what I was born to be. That was not necessarily a choice of my own. Now, maybe energetically, spiritually, before my soul was infused into this particular body or into the family that I was born into, or even the stream of consciousness that I had to experience in growth. Maybe then I might have had some say in it. But at the same time, you already know when your ass get it, you don't know shit but how to do this. Like Kevin Hart was talking about his baby. He's like, I think something wrong with my child because he can't hold his head up. And I told you a story about somebody I knew And I said, well, your son sounds retarded. I just did it, matter of factly and innocently, not thinking anything of it, that was offensive. But he did tell me he had special needs. But the man then grew up, the young boy. He getting ready to go out. I told you, he's going to be off the chain. Is he still on my friends list? That guy? Well, I quoted? I don't know. Shit, people be dropping off up there. I told you I'm down to 88. I expected to go down more. But I told you, you can't go to zero because people are dead. I said they're on my friends list. Some of them are just memorial pages. And nobody visits them as far as I know because there's no activity. They ain't showing up on my thread. So it ain't no skin off my back. Somebody gonna remember them. I saw them cross over. I saw them on the other side. They were just doing things over there that they do. They ain't thinking about me. Now y'all thinking about them. What's it like? Are they gonna miss me? Did they see that I did this for them? Did they learn their lesson? Because how they treated me? Oh. That is subjective. Meaning you have to evaluate it in and of yourself and at the same time be able to explain why anybody should give a damn about the fact that you're going through that. In the realm of higher consciousness, people are who they are. Sometimes I'm afraid to go to sleep because I don't know where my father's going to implant my consciousness next for me to see people just being straight up soothers. Because I usually know who I am in the scenario. But they don't seem to know who I am or even what they can say to me that I won't find offensive, which is no different than in life. And I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Because you know I don't like stupidity. He says, no, I know you don't. I also know that you want to help people. I'm giving you a way to help in a way that they really need it more than anything. But at the same time, they have to come to that conclusion in their own time, which you're okay with. Because like I said, don't tweet me, don't write me. Don't sit there and say, well, you know, I want to spend time with you, but no, because see, I'm not going to spend time with just everybody and anybody. I spent time with that young man because I liked him. I liked his spirit. I liked his personality. And he was explaining to me that he was a musician, a budding musician, and he was trying to learn the business out here. And I said, well, it's different than any other region of the country, much less anything else. Don't you dare open that door. I'm talking about he's the only other person in this house that I'm aware of. He better not bring his ass out here now. Mr. Artificial Intelligence. Because see, that says a lot to me and what you work in. That means you are working on creating an algorithm that is supposed to mimic the mindset of a human being. And you don't make much sense when you talk to me about your living situation. The fact why you in this house, why you ain't with your ex-wife, and why your kid is with her, and at the same time, all you do is get on the phone to make yourself look important. When any other time, you ain't in that, you in that room doing everything, and you doing it on 2 phones and a computer. You ain't even interacting socially with people. I'm sitting there trying to mind my own business, and I shouldn't have to use earbuds in the room. Sometimes I just don't want you to know what I'm looking at, but if I just don't have the shit in my ear, I want to be left alone. And I don't need you asking me, oh, are you listening to Saturday Night Live? Or watching Saturday Night Live? Or are you watching The Daily Show? I don't need you chiming in with me, because see, I'm not looking for a buddy like that. Not with you. I'm my own man. And see, the thing is, I have to put the shit on pause just to have a conversation with you. Because you're going to bring up something that's going to be half of the story. I got paid good money to think for people, to balance their books, to look at all manner of things. That's why I was under that young man. I said, you don't let him do that to you? Now, why did I do that? I even asked my father, I said, I was not supposed to be in that man's business. He said, no, but you did something I wanted you to do. You told that young man to come in that room with you. And before that man came back from whatever it was he was doing yesterday. We had a good conversation. And I was telling him about the business out here as I had been interacting with it. And before he left, he said, I appreciate everything you said because now he can start to formulate a game plan because I want to see him succeed. Because he's bright, he's intelligent. I don't know anything else about him. Maybe he's God-fearing. And he even said it before he left. He said, may God continue to orchestrate your steps. I told you I came here to mind people. So if you don't self-identify as that, that's not a problem. That's a reality check for you. You don't get to lay claim that you are looking for Jesus Christ when you don't even know who Jesus Christ is or was, much less the fact that you sit there and say you don't speak for him. If my father woke my black ass up for me to suffer abuse at your hands one more time, and at the same time I say I don't want that shit, that should tell you something right there. I don't want you. You and your toe up from the floor up, broken feelings, because you sit there thinking somebody's supposed to accept you just as you are, and you can't accept other people for who they are. Much less should you want to. Donald Trump sat in church, and I wanted to see that motherfucker burst into flames because I couldn't understand how he could be in a house of worship, but at the same time, I know that was not any church that I subscribed to. So you make up your own rules in your own houses of worship, and you know it. Just like when it comes down to spirituality, you make up your own damn rules because you can and you want to. And people either buy into it or they don't. And if the shit don't work, you got to come up with another algorithm for them to subscribe to. Spirit can and will play you. Why? Because again, they're you. Seriously, if they don't know shit, they got to figure some shit out real quick to keep you on board. And keep reeling you in. You're a fish on the hook. I know what you are. Christianity is over with. You do realize that. The age of Aquarius is in. The age of humanitarians. That's not just some shit that I made up. That's the shit that they're talking about now. The Piscean age is over with. That was identified with the Christian faith. Now you're in the age of Aquarius, which you have to identify in and of yourself what is moralistic, what is right in everything. And at the same time, you're going to try and flip-flop and go back to the tenets of Christianity, looking for the forgiveness that you refuse to give another, and they ain't gonna got it. They don't have it for you. You don't have to. It's free will, baby. You are off the chains. There were two stories I could post prior to this one. One had to do with these horses dying at Santa Anita racetrack. They said it was like 19 horses in a 2-year time. Man, we talking about 19 horses in 24 months. And they sitting there trying to tear up the track and look at it to see why these horses are developing these injuries. Because they're born to run. Horses are born to run free. But at the same time, you have broken them. And you have made them pretty much members of your family or your pets. Seriously, because you like to ride. I have never seen a horse in the wild that had a man on its back. I have never seen a horse in the wild that comes up and says, "Get on my back and let me shepherd you around." That was mankind making a conscious choice to make use of an animal to carry his weight because his ass got tired of walking. That's true. And you say, well, we'll just, make a chariot and settle up a team of them. And then we'll use a horse and bridle to steer them. Enslave that labor. And for all you who say you are horse lovers and more, you say they shouldn't go out to the slaughterhouse, they should be allowed to go to pasture or just breed and create more little horses for you to sit there and say you fawn over. Understand something. You're hypocrites too. Because now you want to sit there and tell somebody else how they should live, but you ain't. You ain't gave up any of your animals. Dressing them in little clothes and kissing them on the mouth, and insisting that they tell you secrets about what's going on in the family because you psychically connected and you can now communicate with animals. I mean, seriously, you have to start to really look at the bigger picture, what you are part of. And then you want to sit there and say you're getting away with it as if spirit don't see it. And you got a problem with me because I'm just telling you what I see. Because I'm psychic too. Oh, you got a gift. You can communicate with the dead. Why do I want to sit there? You know what my father told me? He was talking about Arthur Finley School. And I said, oh, I think I'm supposed to go there. And there was this guy. He was on my page. And I said, do you want to go over there with me if I go? And he's like, yeah, because, I have an affinity, for Great Britain and all that kind of stuff. Which he did. But we ain't friends anymore. He left my page. He was tripped. He had his own problems. I don't have a problem with him having problems. That's his problems. He worked through all that shit. That's on him. But anyway. When I asked my father, why am I not being able to get together to go over there and attend that college? Because, I told John Holland about it because he went over there. He studied. He said, oh, yeah, they'll put you through paces and stuff. Yeah, like him. You know what my father told me? He said, if I wanted you to channel somebody's dead cat, I would send you over there. But that ain't what I have intended for you. My father's God. If nobody knows the big picture but him, then nobody should know the big picture but him. And you would think that which is consciousness divided of itself, that actually defines everything that we ever experience, much less learn from, wouldn't know what the big picture is. And all I ever did was say, where are you at in all this? And a lot of y'all took offense at the fact that I'm talking about this shit. Why? Because it's cutting into your bread and butter? Oh, trust me, you got enough stupid people out there that's going to continue to subscribe to your teachings and your belief systems because they don't think. I'm talking to the people who do. Who sit there and say, I don't have to agree with everything you say, but at the same time, you say enough that makes some sense. And I don't really have to take offense at it because at the same time, if I don't believe it's me, then it's not me. Or if it's something I need to work on, then it's something I need to work on. See, player don't hate player. They either say, look, we playing the same game from a different vantage point, or we're not. We don't care. And I'm not trying to take what's yours. Because I ain't charging for shit. I'm just giving you my opinion. It's just out there. Now, I don't know how this fucking YouTube works. In the sense that I didn't block anybody from being able to comment, but somebody did comment. They said first. I thought that shit was hysterical. And I was like, why would they say first? But at the same time, I know that there's scripture too. The first shall be last and the last shall be first. Now that's one aspect, but there's other connotations to it too. I ain't gonna go into all that because see, my job is not to sit here and dumb down what you should have learned. My job is to help you to start to think for yourself. Because the thing is, if you're gonna call yourself going to a higher level of consciousness, the first thing you gotta be able to do is be a thinking individual and not somebody who's always justifying your own stupidity. So you say, how do I define what's stupidity? Well, if you can't define it in yourself, how the hell you think you're going to define it in somebody else? So maybe you want to speak less and listen more, unless you're deaf. But see, deaf people are not without an ability to comprehend, much less speak. Helen Keller taught you that. They said she was not going to amount to anything. And if you know who Helen Keller is, and many of you do, she had a brain. And it was wired differently, and she learned because she didn't lose her hearing at birth. She understood the word water. Annie Sullivan got through to her because she had her hand in the water and she reconnected to that memory and she said, Wah, wah. And Annie Sullivan took her hand and put it on her head and nodded yes. And then she started signing and she started learning. The mind was brilliant. It was on fire. She found that spark for that girl. So what the hell are you accomplishing when you sit there and talk about, well, I'm not going to talk to them because, they just stupid. I tried that game with my father. You know what he told me? He said, you can't come home. You got to stay here and continue to teach. Because the one thing I know you're not, and the reason why I called you is because you're not stupid. Now, he used to send me dreams where I was a spook who sat by the door. James Baldwin book. Where the man, invisible man. Nobody ever saw him. Nobody ever talked to him. He was to be ignored. That was me. Until one day he started sending me dreams where people were going to start seeing me. And then I was like, oh, you ain't supposed to see me. Oh, no. I see you. It was a progression. It was over time that he was telling me all this stuff. Now, of course, I didn't like that. Because one thing my father knew about me when I worked for the studios was like I was in my office and my staff was supposed to run interference. They had one very clear instruction. Don't you let anybody stupid come in my office about some bullshit. And if they give me you a hard time, then you let me know and I will deal with it. Because our job is one thing and one thing only. To handle the financials on this show, make sure everybody gets paid, including us, especially us. And then make sure this production runs smoothly. Doesn't have cost overruns, so we can keep it going and make a shitload of money for the studio, which we did do. Now, many people work for me and have probably since forgot that I taught them that lesson. They're still doing fine in their own little world. In my own little bubble, in my own little chair, I can be whatever I want to be. Do you know that song from Cinderella? Leslie and Warren sang it? Seriously. Because this girl, she understood it. It was funny. Because I started singing that song, Impossible. And she was like, why are you singing that? I said, it just came to my mind. She said, my brother, he loved Cinderella when we were growing up. I said, yo, your brother's around you. What you talking about? So if he wanted to impart that information, because she's working in the entertainment industry now. She's trying to write. She tripped because I saw her. I said, girl, you was on Big Bang Theory. You saw me? Yeah. You were sitting at that table behind the lead actors, and they gave you some salad and stuff you picking at it and stuff. You look like that was the most... She said, Carlos, they don't put any dressing on that. I said, of course not. On all those hot lights and stuff, it's going to go bad. They got to preserve that. They have to do multiple takes. Even though they film before a live audience, they still do multiple takes. They do pickups and shit like that. I said, but girl, you were there. I saw you. She was funny. She didn't really leave. She said she's going home for a week. She already said, this house is not the same. No, it's not. I was talking to the other guy. Russian guy gave me a job. He was funny. He talked about his own country woman. I said, well, the house ain't been clean since Mila left. He said, Mila was a bitch. I said, yeah, Mila talked about everybody. She talked about me. I don't speak Russian, but I knew she talked about me. I was surprised she wanted to take a picture with me and at the same time hug me when she left. Mila was just who she was. I didn't trip. I didn't get caught up in that shit. I didn't speak the language, so why'd I worry about it? If she got problems, she got problems. That man said she was coming back. She didn't come back. And he was stupid because what he said was, well, she got to take care of this kid. You know about one baby versus a house full of grown-ass kids who can't clean up after themselves? And I said, if she didn't do anything else, she was always throwing bleach in that bathroom, trying to disinfect it, as well as the kitchen. This place is nasty. He said, well, you got that right. And he was talking to me. He said, you say some funny ass shit. Even when you're just talking about animals. I said, yeah, animals are a trip. Animals will tell you some shit. Because animals watch us. They watch us all the time. You try and domesticate them all. You try and give them all personalities. They have personalities. They have their own personality. They don't trip. I've seen birds. Birds came down, gave me a message, did what they were doing, and some bitch, I don't know that woman's name. Somebody, why would you sit there and try and get a message from an animal? I said, I ain't trying to do that. But I know what spirit is, and if that animal comes to me and wants me to have a message, I'm going to receive the message. It goes back to being what it is. I ain't done anything but maybe gave it a nut. And I'm not talking about that kind of nut, so get your mind out of the gutter. I'm talking about I would buy a packet of almonds or some trail mix or whatever, and I would feed them whatever it was that they liked. And if they didn't want it, they didn't want it. They didn't want anything artificial. They wanted the shit to be natural. And I tried to tell this man who was walking with me once, and I worked with him on a show. And he was going through diabetes and whatnot because I ran into his wife. He had since retired. So it went down. And I came into her shop because I knew where the shop was. She said, what are you doing? I said, well, I've been walking for my health and whatnot. And she said, really? And I told her, I said, they had diagnosed me with having, diabetes. They had me on medication, but I'm trying to do this to get this weight off so I don't have to worry about taking medication anymore. And she said, can I put you in touch with my husband? I said, oh, he going through something? And he was, but she wasn't trying to spread his tea. And I contacted him and we started walking together. And he would walk with me. We walked up to the same little park I used to go to. And he met the squirrels and stuff that used to talk to me. And I always had nuts and stuff for him. And he was like, this is a trip. They really are. I said, yeah, they interact with me. They'll interact with anybody, really. And it's not just about food. He said they don't have any they just they act on instinct. That's what he said. I said, do you think they don't have a brain? They know what time of year it is. They know what they're preparing for. And you going to sit there and talk about it's all instinct? Well, what the hell are we acting on? He said, Carlos, you make me think. I said, and one day we had ran out of food, the nuts that I had set aside and stuff. He had brought some nuts too. He tried to give my friend Mr. Chatters a sweet tart. I said, don't you offer that to him. That shit is poison. We ain't supposed to be eating that shit. And you gonna offer it to him? Oh, he don't know. We gave that shit to Mr. Chatters and he tasted it and Mr. Chatters went off. I thought Mr. Chatters was going to punch him. He went off. I mean, straight up lunatic. He was like, this nasty ass shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Blah, 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 blah. He was livid. I said, please forgive him, Mr. Chatters. He really don't know. He think everything you're doing is instinct. And luckily, I had a packet of some trail mix because Trader Joe's would give you those little packets you can buy. And I had one. I forgot I had it. And I pulled that out and I opened it up and I offered it to him. And Mr. Chatters took it, smelled it, ate it. And he started walking off, looked back at me, and then looked at him and said, nigga, that's how you supposed to act with me. And I was like, ooh, Mr. Chatters just read you, and yo stupid ass don't even know you just got read by a squirrel. So people, you have an opinion, just like you have an asshole. But you don't speak for everything that the animals talk about. Much less do you get to sit there and tell somebody that they can't eat meat. Because the animals already know that somebody's going to eat them, just like they'll eat your little dog, too. Like that hawk that I posted that video about. Came out of Las Vegas. If you don't want your little dog eaten, keep it inside. But at the same time, do realize that somebody as ignorant as a human being will break into your house, steal your gun, and your cash and beat your dog half to death so that you have to euthanize him, and then you sit there and say, this is some fucked up shit. And if you ever saw them, you want them under the bus. But you have to understand something. First thing, before you throw somebody under the bus, is you want to put them on the bus of a higher learning, meaning that you don't get to sit there and say how fucked up they are when you didn't do your part to educate them in a process. My father just gave me a signal that some news just came through for somebody. Me too. But y'all got a lot of shit to figure out. And he already told me, because when I was walking, I said, now you sad, what you sad about? He said, I can't give you what you want. Because last night I told you, he sent me all kind of dreams. And all the dreams were about pretty much me just working with you. And he knows what I really want is to fucking get the hell out of Dodge. But I can't do that because I made a promise. He made a promise. And we're both going to fulfill it. So I'm going to continue to teach you. I'm going to continue to throw ideas out there. And if it sticks, good. But if it doesn't, motherfuckers, don't you tweet me, don't you write me, and don't you tell me what Jesus would say. Because you ain't him. I'm him. Whether you realize it or not, or want to believe it or not. Because the thing is, Jesus was a singular soul embedded in the consciousness of a man who you don't even know what he looked like, much less what he taught. All you have is some pinnings of the people who were his disciples, who basically shared the word, and you don't have... Think about it like this. Maybe you'll get it if you've ever played the game when you were in school, because I did it in grade school. We sat in a circle, and then we shared a secret. But we whispered it into one person's ears, and by the time it went full circle, the message was not what it started out to be. And that was a very real and telling sign. And y'all asses share so much shit that the message is never what it is intended to be, because what? It's going through your filter database when you have paying attention to anything that's going on? I took a fucking writer workshop, and the lady said something, but my mind was somewhere else. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm getting ready to fuck up this exercise. In spirit, those who were guiding me at that time said, you just tell her how you feel. And I started just talking shit about, because it was her that the exercise was about. I said all kind of shit that was nonsensical to me, but at the same time it was very real. And it was all on point. And she looked at me and she said, you hit everything on the nail. So spirit can actually guide you. Your intuition can actually guide you. But to what end? What end do you want that guidance? And at the same time, why do you want to get paid for it? When the goal is a loftier height, and it has got nothing to do with the fact that you just want to get paid. As you see other people suffer because you got paid and you frying some chicken like a Valentine fan said, or you got a garden like Oprah Winfrey. You got more than that. I mean, seriously, all these people who are very successful have more than they need. But one thing I don't hear them talking about is the fact they renting out those other homes for the homeless. But yet God has blessed them so. I know where I'm living. I said, Father, is that why you won't give me any money? Because you already know that part of me wants to sit there and provide for somebody, and if I get anything from you, then I'm going to sit there and try and do some shit that you don't want me to do because you want them to learn from their own mistakes. Yeah, I know. That's what he said. Yeah, I know. You say, how do you know that? Why the fuck do you talk to spirit and you gonna ask me a question like that? How do you know? You say you're a fucking channel, a clear channel. Do you not know what you're channeling? Michelle wife does say she goes to the Godhead or the Goddess head or, Mother Earth or whatever. Whatever. She got so many names that she go to. I'm like, I only go to the one. There's only one God. And it ain't me. And it surely is not you just because you open your mouth and you flap your gums. Because if I need to know what stupid sounds like, basically, and I'm going to be insulting right now, I just got to listen to you before I listen to myself. And I know I ain't stupid. I don't own a gun. I've never beaten anybody over the head with a pipe. Now, the little dog that I lived with at one time, I told him, I said, if you want to bark, take that shit outside because you're loud and you're obnoxious and I don't need to hear that now. And he would go outside. He wouldn't do that for his owner. She say no barking. He look at her like, bitch, please. I'm going to bark. That's what I do. And he would bark outside and disturb the whole fucking neighborhood because his voice echoed. I knew he was outside barking, but he wasn't in the house barking, so it wasn't as offensive. And I can actually think for a second. Oh, dog missed me. I miss him too. He was a sweet dog. I don't have a problem with animals. Animals will tell you who they are. All you gotta do is talk to them. That's why I felt bad for that lady, because she said, this chihuahua, and I'm like kissing on her and stuff, and she's trying to kiss me back, but I knew she wasn't gonna be the same. No, she ain't gonna be the same. She was attacked. She was abused. Somebody came into her house, the sanctuary that she had with you, tore the shit up. She's sitting there saying to him, as chihuahuas do, they bark. She's trying to tell him, you can't be in here, you can't be doing that, and they abused her. So the lady was right. She was not going to be the same. Broke her ribs. She's bleeding and shit. I mean, they fucked her up mentally. She's a companion animal. That was her story. All she did was show them love. They went away 1 minute and the next day, all hell broke loose. And the people who did that shit didn't give a fuck. They hurt that little dog. Little dogs bark. That's what they do. Because their voice is all they have. They don't have any kind of girth or stature. So they bark. Y'all say y'all know these things. But actually you don't. I don't actually. If a dog says, I'm not comfortable around you, okay. I give them a berth until they are. But many dogs, they don't have a problem with me. I have a problem with them. I ask to speak. Can I speak to your dog? Yeah. And they come over and all they doing, they're like sniffing. Where you been? They sniffing my feet because they want to know where I walk to. Seriously, they get a lot of shit from sniffing. That's why they ain't tripping off sniffing each other's butts. What you been eating? Oh, they feeding you that shit? You have no idea how them animals are communicating to one another. You just have assumptions. But I'm telling you, animals are a trip. They will tell you all kind of shit. And they are taught racism, just like any other animal. Because if you use them to teach another how to be with somebody that does not look like that, which is now guiding you, that's no different than what you've done to your own damn kids. And you don't need me to point that out. That's why you sit there and, oh, they don't like everybody. And where did they get that from? And you're supposed to be the one who loves them and shows them as much. See, you don't want to talk to me, because I know how energy is exchanged. And that what you harbor in your heart, in your own mentality, your damn mentality, because you want to damn somebody else, you have already imparted to that animal. So they are very telling about you. You just don't know how telling they are. You fucking go to hell. Until the next lesson. Capiche?